Imagine you went through a really bad divorce, and then you tried to make some really big, grand gesture to get your wife back, even though she was with somebody else, and your kids didn't really trust you anymore or even like you, so you decided to change your costuming completely and then try really hard through subterfuge to impress them just to win them back. Now, up until this point, it sounds like the plot of Mrs. Doubtfire, until you realize that actually you're Apocalypse and you're now getting 10 of your friends into a sword battle to the death. One of them gets married, one dies, one becomes the multiversal center of a new Captain Britain Corps. Then you've got 10 of Swords. Hi, I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. Now let me start off by saying that I love Jonathan Hickman. I say that a lot, I know that I do. I feel like him working in a team, especially with Tini Howard, really made the entire experience better, even better than I thought it could be. Tini seems to have a really less expansive and much more focused, more character-driven storytelling approach. It's not to say that Jonathan Hickman's isn't, but I think hers is more so. I love both of them, I love their work, but together, peanut butter and chocolate. And what the X-Team's accomplished is pretty fantastic. It's really one of the best X-Men stories ever, and probably one of the best Marvel events in a very, very long time. So if you haven't been paying attention, here's the rundown. Thousands of years ago, Apocalypse and his family fought an army from a place called Amenth, a dark dimension full of cosmic horror, and they split Okara in two, Arakko and Krakoa, and sealed Arakko another world to keep Amenth from making it to Earth. Now, his family went with Arakko, but over thousands and thousands of years, they fell to Amenth and were eventually twisted by it, everybody that they sent, and their descendants, and then they returned to Otherworld, challenging Opal Lunar Saturnine to the ability to invade Earth and challenge the X-Men. And with Saturnine as a willing arbiter, she declared a contest of swords with specific combatants selected by her specially created tarot. Hence, X of Swords, or 10 of Swords. The victor of the contest was sworn to back off of their claim, or basically back down. The X-Men back to Krakoa, and the army of Amenth, or Arakko, back to Arakko, and remaining in Otherworld. And while mutants are functionally immortal, backed up by Professor X, it was revealed that to die in Otherworld meant that a mutant couldn't be resurrected, at least not as the person that they knew. And I expected a lot of real big character deaths given that element, but what we got were a lot more interesting but a lot less than lethal outcomes. Magic arm wrestled a monster alligator. Cypher got married, Wolverine lost because he lived, Storm let Death get eaten by vampires, and Cable just got super humiliated. Given all the finality of Death and everything, I really thought that they were going to kill off Sabanur himself. I really thought they were going to kill Apocalypse, but ultimately, Gorgon, the blind swordsman, whose gaze turns anybody caught in it to stone, fell after evening the score with my second favorite new character, the White Sword, who is named after his white sword, which isn't even called White Sword, it's called Purity, but whatever. His power is to resurrect 100 warriors daily to fight with and for him, which is one of the most Arthurian mutant powers that you could possibly have, but it fits with the entire overall theme. But Captain Britain Betsy Braddock was shattered into a bunch of pieces by my favorite character in this, Iska the Unbeaten, whose mutant power is being unable to lose, thus invincible in combat, but also automatically switches sides when her team is gonna eat it, which is handy, I guess. But Opal Luna Saturnine reassembled Captain Britain, and with her, and with it, the cavalry, the Captain Britain Corps. Which, as final issues for major events go, is pretty excellent. Destruction is fantastic. The very out there discovery of an undefeatable alien species locked inside of the spire that Cable was able to throw at the summoned creatures of Amenth, the sweeping, detailed battles and splash pages from artist Pepe Larraz, and the foreshadowing of what's to come leading into Reign of X. Listen, if you're waiting to get into or read X-Men, if you're like, oh gosh, this might be too dense, I might not be able to understand it, there's a jumping on point literally every 3 months in this whole series of books, and you don't have to pick up all of them to actually stick with it or even enjoy it. Find one or two that you like, but Every single one of the X books now are they're definitely the line of books that I look forward to most every month, and that's saying something. As X-Men stories go, Ten of Swords, the whole arc has been wild and a fundamental shift in the landscape of not just mutantdom, but Marvel as a whole. I love the idea of a team working on all of the X books or an entire line of titles, and I am truly excited about where they'll go next. Kudos especially to Jordan D. White for being able to keep his head wrapped around all of this, and to everybody working on these books from start to finish. Vita, I'm still waiting for Children of the Atom, and I'm very excited about that too. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you again next week.